中被称为钢铁部分，其乘客们都在大站台，有斜后车。
第二行是要上面那条线齐的。
那总站不是都是上面平吗？
不是都是上面平，这一条是下面一行平，这一条是上面一行平，所以上面是有高低的，下面也是有高低的。还没有讲完 ，What's next?
Okay, so these are parallel lines. We understand that. And then each piece is centered over the other piece. So just because the sides are sometimes different, but this is just in the center.
对，中线是一样的，就你这样挂的时候，就是这两条线是平的，然后
高度再定下，行了。
中线每两张之间中线。
你把车身标一下，指示给我，叫他把车身标一下，指示给我。
你需要这两个之间的尺寸是吧？
这个车身。
I mean, I call them the 434 Hawkeye Drive series, which is the address of the university apartments where we live, and those apartments are very much like minimal, pretty stark places. Like you can't pound a nail in the wall to hang a picture. You can't paint anything. You can't don't leave any evidence that you lived there. Like there should be no sign that Micah Bloom lived in this spot when you leave. And to me that's kind of harsh. It's kind of impersonal. And so these paintings have been about, in many ways, about trying to live a harmonious life, a good life with your family in a space that is not your own and that should not, become your own, really. So you bring some of your items into that space. You bring most importantly, your people into that space, and you try to live a non-estranged life in a strange environment, like an environment that's not necessarily homey or you don't possess it, so it's someone else's. So I think that's some of the ideas that's behind this work, and because I work from memory, I from each piece it gets filled in a little more. Like I remember more things where they are, and those items, I think the paintings become more homely in a sense, like because there are more things. And the very first paintings are really vacuous and stark and just not much there. Most of the stories that are in these paintings, the narrative quality, a lot of them are biblical stories. But in each painting, there's often references to either the history of painting, like old masters' paintings, like they use something for a symbol. For example, in one of the pieces, there is a dog, a toy dog, that Sarah used when she was a child. The kids play with it now in our house. But that dog symbolizes fidelity. And that's I kind of used that for a symbol for Sarah, I guess, like kind of my love and fidelity to her. And so I've used that, and then also the stories, like the stories of the two girls tugging on the doll. That's a real thing. All the things that are in the paintings are real things that happen in our house. They are like documentary in that way. But they're hopefully touching on larger stories, universal stories of conflict of like one's called The First Daughter, is one of the paintings, and I kind of have a Cain and an Abel, like in the biblical story, like the first children, like the first sons, or it's kind of like my two characters. When I use Eva and Magdalena, they're often kind of a yin and a yang kind of character, because in real life they are very different in many ways, and they're similar in many ways. But Magdalena is this adventuresome, risk-taking, really, a stronger kind of person, and Eva's been more like a homely, kind of much rather read a book than like go outside, and I mean that's how it's kind of traditionally been, and she's changing some and may change a lot, but that's how I've kind of thought about them and how they've behaved as they're really young. So that's how I kind of play those characters almost as a director of a play would use characters in some way. I have I've used my paintings like a set, and sometimes people say they look like kind of dramatic or like a theater set, or some say like a dollhouse where people have been arranged and pieces of furniture have been arranged to kind of tell a story.